The Heritage are some of the finest guitars in the world today. Based on enhancements to traditional designs, these guitars are handmade on tooling and equipment that date back to the 20s, in a building originally built by Gibson in 1917. Guitars are the most popular instrument in the world of pop music, and mass-produced instruments can easily be acquired today. But to move from good to great, the savvy musician looks to Heritage for a top-notch guitar. Expert craftsmen turn pieces of wood and steel into instruments of compelling beauty and outstanding tone and playability. In July of 2007, John Hillman launched the Heritage Owners Club site as an internet forum and information exchange for heritage enthusiasts. 1 year later, the HOC had grown to exceed 540 members, and on July 18, 2008, the inaugural Parsons Street Pilgrimage event was planned by Brent Henderson and Jim W. HOC members traveled across the U.S. to tour the Heritage Factory, meet the luthiers, marvel at each other's guitars, and grill and jam with both HOC and Heritage Company members. This event was an outstanding success.
All right. Hey, Randy. This is Brent Henderson, Brent Rocks. And just wanted to say that I'm having a great time today. Really glad that everyone could come out and join in the festivities today. And this is the GM, the Gary Moore. It's probably my favorite Heritage of all time. But yeah, it's really cool that everyone got together today.
It's kind of a Rube Goldberg type of situation here, where you got a thing on the bottom that holds the pattern, and then you put a block of wood in the top. And then when it does, it carves the top. See, like this. Okay, this has been sitting here a while, but this is what it does. It actually hogs out the wood, and also it does that. So when you get to that point, everything is done by hand. Now these burn. We'll go through those little router heads about once every 2 months or something, because it's so hard on the router. I think it's the largest router. If anybody in the group knows of a larger router, like a 5 or 6 horsepower, let us know. And then what that's what it does is variable speed, and control the speed that goes around and cuts. And whatever pattern you put on the bottom, that's what it does on the top. Okay, down here.
My name is John Hillman. My hawk handle is Dixie Cup, pronounced Dixie Cup, like the glass. A lot of people ask me about that. It has nothing to do with cup size. I actually brought 3 guitars, all 3 of my Heritages down with me. This is an H160V, fairly rare. I saw everybody else out here with their 150s and stuff, so I thought maybe I'd pull this out. I like Heritage guitars because they're handmade the old way, and you just can't beat the value. I don't know what else there is to say besides that.
So the HOC, you started the HOC, right?
I started the HOC about a year ago. I actually was looking to purchase my first Heritage guitar, and it was, I can't even remember what the model was, but I wanted information on it. I couldn't find it anywhere. There was some stuff on the gear page. There was a little bit of stuff on Harmony Central, but you can't trust anything on Harmony Central. Stay away from acapella.harmonycentral.com. It's horrible. So I kind of got this idea that if I built it, maybe somebody could come and tell me what I was looking at. So it started a journey of education for me, actually, in the brand. I pretty quickly had acquired 3 or 4 guitars, and it's been going since then with very little input from me. So it's been a blast.
Very cool, very cool. And you're from where, John?
I'm from Midland, Michigan, which is about 3 hours north of the factory, northeast of the factory.
Cool. What do you think of the tour today?
The tour was impressive. It was kind of neat to see where they're built, meet the people that build them, and see the old equipment. And the remnants of the fire were kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Kind of up from the ashes. So I was impressed.
Very cool. Hey, John, thanks for starting the HOC.
Oh well, thanks for joining.
Our fixturing is old school. When you walk through this place, we don't have any CNC routers. We don't have any computers out front of the office. Okay? Everything is done by hand, the old ways. You'll see a lot of the old Gibson equipment, and that'll be apparent after a while that we're the old school. We do things the old way. Sometimes they're very slow, sometimes they're not as fast as it could be, but we think that's the best way to build a guitar. We've been doing it all our lives.
did Gibson moved out? Did they leave a lot of the equipment?
No, there was a big auction. When they went south, we were there for the auction. Of course, we worked with the equipment. We knew what we wanted to raise our hand and bid on. And basically, we got some pretty good equipment, at a reasonable price. Okay, right now he's gluing up the ram assembly, and then he's getting ready to put in the hand press, this press right here. And it'll go on the back and the top at the same time. He's working on a double cutaway, 535, maybe a 555.
You sure that wasn't mustard?
Sorry?
You sure that wasn't mustard?
The cutout area in the
One of my other bands, Church's chocolate.
is tradition. I mean, if you go way back in years back, 57, 58, it's always had that little cutaway. We put our controls through the F-hole, not through that hole. But some people prefer, if they're working on a guitar later, to have that hole there. And we could build it without that little cutout that's in the back pickup area, and that's where a lot of people like to put the controls through. So what we do is lay the controls on top of the guitar. I'll show you that later. Hook the pickups up and then feed everything through the F-hole.
Hey, Brad?
Yeah.
How much modification from like the old 335 versus the 535? I mean,
Okay.
in terms of a
All right, that's a good question. Whenever you look at a 535, if you're a luthier, and you, I guess the question is that a gift? Well, it comes from a lot of gifts and experiences. We got to go totally elective of 500 years of experience. So, but if you actually look at it and measure it, it's a big difference. It's thinner, the F-holes are bigger, we use different binding, and a little bit of different construction in certain areas. So we can probably call this our own. If you look, tradition, Gibson's been older than we are for many years, but ours is thinner, and a lot of guitar players like that, a little bit thinner. And we voice them so that the F-hole is a little bit louder to get the same voice.
How many of the forms
Through all those, some of them are, most of them are. You'll see some laying around here and there. There's some machinery like that does thread slotting, thread location. That's based on the 1/18th rule that we set up. There's all kinds of different ways of laying out fret wire to make sure it's perfect. There's all kinds of theories, books written about which one's the best. Mandolin, banjos, flat tops, and basses we are no longer making. We're too constant. Yeah, you'll see stuff laying all over the place. Yeah, in fact, that's probably an old, it's an RB 250. Yeah, or a Plectrum. That's probably tenor. That's a tenor.
would you still make these bottles on a one-off special?
I would say put the order in and we can talk about it, but I highly doubt it, only because I've got so many orders for the other stuff. And we weren't so busy with the other stuff, but we got a pile of orders like that for the H5 mandolin, and we couldn't make it in here, so.
Can you able to show us the difference between a semi-hollow and a semi-solid?
Yeah. This is the one that went in here is called a semi-hollow box, only because it's thin and it's got a plank going down through the middle, like a 4-inch plank. It's glued to the top and glued to the back. Some of our models are open in the back to give a little bit more edge on the top end, a little bit more acoustic sight. The Prospect, the Academy, the Roy Clark, those are open on the back. You tap on the back, you hear a little bit more hollow, a little bit more acoustic quality.
What about the weight relief? Can you talk to us how you do the...
Okay, the weight relief, we have our own way of doing it. You'll see that.
Hey, I'm Jim W., known on the forum as Jim W. I'm not a player. My wife's the player of the family, as most of you know. And we were fortunate enough at the tour to manage to save this from the seconds bin. We bought it as a carcass from Heritage. It didn't get bandsawed. And what we'll be doing is installing all the hardware that we prefer, the pickups we prefer, the pots, the baritone, etc., etc. And it should turn into a real workhorse for my wife. I think she'll enjoy it quite a bit. And all of you that didn't manage to make it, it's too bad. You missed a really good time. Take care.
Thanks, Jim.
I had cleaners, and 22 front plows. And I was a foreman. And I was the last guy that had the chance to look at the guitar before the shift. And I had a big 14 by 14 room that I went into that you could hear your heartbeat inside it when you went in, when you closed the door. Special air conditioning and everything. And they would roll an 8-rack in, shut the door, shut the other door, and then I would check them unplugged. And it was an interesting job because we did at sometimes 400 guitars a day. That's a lot of guitars. We do about 5 or 6 here and there at the most. We're not a threat to the trees or the forest. For every tree, we may take 5 or 6 big trees and that's it, you know, in a year's time, really. We don't use that much wood. But the wood that we do get, we treat it like gold because we spend a lot of money for the wood to get it there. We use genuine mahogany. A lot of people say, what kind of mahogany? It's genuine. It's called genuine mahogany. From that wall to where you came in, that's all the bigger we are. We have an area on the 3rd floor for finishing, but this is it. This is what you see is heritage. And we probably export maybe 40 to 50%, and the rest of it's sold in the United States. So when things are bad over there or good over here, it's kind of ways out, you know what I mean? So it helps business when you've got that worldwide situation going on. Any questions so far? Okay.
Have you had to change? I mean, a lot of manufacturers are saying, guitar loops are saying they're having problem finding good wood. Have you had to change distributors?
Back in the old days, we used to climb the trees and X them, you know, and have people come. No, anymore. Nowadays, with the technology, we know who to call. They know where to get the wood, you know, and we pretty much have a dry kiln before it gets there, and then we have our air storage area out there that we keep it. You've got to have that. The secret of building guitars, you've got to have the control of humidity and that moisture content of your wood. If you build a fingerboard and the fret doesn't shrink and your fingerboard does, you got pop binding, you got cracks and stuff, and that happens even as good as we are. That happens sometimes. But our warranty is very good. We stand behind our product, as I'm sure all of you know. Yes?
Is Heritage still able to use like Brazilian rosewood?
No, I tell you what, if you got a back for a Brazilian flat top, say we made a flat top, it cost us $1,800 for just the back. I mean, you stay away from that kind of stuff. I mean,
I'm saying like for fretboards and stuff
some
like that?
people do that. You can spin it, but we're not in that Brazilian rosewood.
Okay.
If you were to send us your wood and say build it, I would say we would make you sign or have you sign a paper that said whatever comes of it is your baby.
So you guys would not source that for like a special order?
I don't think so, because we're not making flat tops.
No, I meant just for like a fingerboard.
We have people that have sent in Brazilian rose fingerboards, but with the stipulation if it cracks or if it does anything, it's kind of not under our control.
Understood.
Yeah. And but yeah, if you've got to have, here's the thing: if you have something special you want to put on your guitar, if it's within reason, you can do that. A lot of people say, well, I want this set of machine heads, or I want this pickup, or I want, you know, my own design on the truss ring, or some little thing we could possibly do
Right, like
that.
blue signs instead of imperials.
Yeah, and they're coming out with new stuff all the time. There's probably 200 different manufacturers of pickups, and I think I've tried pretty much all of them, and there's a lot of good pickups out there, okay? A lot of people know what they're doing.
My name is Alicia Wang. I am the wife of Jim W. on the forum. This is my first Heritage guitar I got probably about 3.5, 4 years ago.
Gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Look at the belly cut.
Scalping, yep, beautiful. We changed it out, put gold pickup, gold hardware on here, white pickguard, white knobs. We changed it out. We did black pickguard, black knobs. And we like the gold look, so we stuck with this, my little angel.
Beautiful.
And,
Fits you well.
This one we just had gotten today, and we're gonna get it all set up, and we'll see. We have to do a take 2 in the future and see what this turns out to be like.
Work in progress.
That's it.
And you folks are from where?
Chicago.
Chicago area, yes. And there's something unique about this guitar in that this portion, this headstock and the name, is actually also the model for the shirt, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
They did something, yeah. No one's noticed it yet that it's a lefty, so I hope no one complains because I get enough picking on for being a lefty as it is.
What'd you think of the tour?
Oh, it was awesome. It was great. Just totally loved it. I could have been there all day. And
Yeah.
well, could have been there longer all day. It was
Yeah.
great. It was great.
You and me both. Oh, thank you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Everybody, if you think about it, back in 58 and 59 Les Paul, all that stuff, why are they bringing so much money? For sure, it was some of the guys who played them that elevated the quality, the price of it. but they had that big neck, they had that baseball neck. So if you're in a position or a size that you can hit one and play one of the bigger necks, you're better off because of neck stability. You got to realize that the neck is a fulcrum out there doing this thing, right? And the less it does, the more chance the top's got to work, especially on your jazz guitars and that sort of thing. If you get too, and we've gone the other direction. We've gone down to 1/5/8 necks, some of the old 535s and some of the old SPs and some of the old Les Pauls too, where they had a narrow nut and real thin. Well, they were, there was nothing there. You couldn't feel nothing. Well, over time, some of them opened them, and there's a lot of things. But most of them warped, twisted, caused problems, tore out the body, not going to come in the area. Back when 23 years ago when we started, we were like 695, 795. Now we're up to 825, 925. That's a point. That's not a thousand. 0.825 to 0.95 to cut the neck. And you're all done by hand. Now, if you've got to have something special, I say take up micrometers and mic the neck that you like, and width of the nut, width of the 12th fret, 24 3/4 inch scale. Give me the thickness behind the first fret and the 10th of the 12th fret. And then if you can get one of these tile things that's got all these little fingers, give me a profile, tell me if it's a fast breakaway, if it's a D shape, there's all kinds of terminology you give the necks, But there's basically 5 or 6 neck shapes, and about 3 different neck scale lengths that we deal with. I will say this, and I'm curious to see what everybody thinks.
My name is Ken Empson. On the HOC, I'm Polk 1. We're from Peculiar, Missouri, which is south of Kansas City. Let's see, this is my 2000 milli SAE, as a matter of fact. It's got the piezo in the bridge, and this is the unique thing about this. And Marv agrees with me that this is pretty cool because it is a arched back. And he said first couple of years they did arched backs and then they quit doing them. So this is very cool that it is arched like that. And I did find out that it's pressed both top and bottom, which was a question that we had. And he says it's unique, keep it like it is. And that's it.
He's playing on stage and right behind him is neon lights. His problem, the thing that was driving, he couldn't sleep at night. The neon lights were driving him nuts. He couldn't play, but that's where he had to make his living. So he contacted somebody like us here, and when somebody was experienced, I said, send your guitar in. Well, I found out he didn't have the quality chord he should have had. One thing. I mean, you get a good amp, you get a good guitar, and you got a bad chord. It's ridiculous. Spend $100 and get a good chord. That's what connects the two. You got $10,000 in guitars and you get a $20 chord, But anyway, we have a beautiful chord that we're going to give away to somebody here. It's Silver 4. It's incredible. Lane's Astro's got some of those he's going to give away. You're all very fortunate. This is our first year, our first party. I'm sure it'll grow, but we've got some neat things happening for everybody. I think it's great. When we first had who's here in the group was actually ahead of that HOC? I mean, who actually started the thing? Brent and, okay, and your name again is? John. John, right, okay. When I was approached in the beginning, I said, which I don't have time, and I'm glad somebody like yourself picked it up. Because it takes time to do that. It takes time to set the site up, and I've got 50,000 hits a month, I've got 4 computers. I'm not only working here 8 hours, I'm working 7 hours at home at night when I get out of here. Maintaining the site, which has not really been updated, but you all will know it's the same old look. And I get complaints from everybody, But it's out there. I mean, I get comments from Japan or Germany, and they're all looking at it.
Mike Novello from northwest Chicago suburbs. This is my first good guitar. H150. It was a birthday present 2 years ago. This was a Craigslist find. Installed the P-rails in it, and it's about 3 pounds lighter than the guitar. That's why this arm is starting to sag. But
They're
anyways,
both gorgeous.
glad to be here.
You're from where again?
Northwest Chicago suburbs.
Northwest Chicago. Cool.
I'm leaning this way because of the weight.
Thanks, Mike.
A friend of mine called Rooster out of Allegan, he was a one-man show, and he had a keyboard. It's called the chord. It's called Sultan. Have you heard of it? A Sultan. It's made in Italy. It's about yay short, yay wide, and it has some things you slip in. But anyway, it had a pedal bass like an organ. Well, you play guitar and you get all your songs built into this thing, and you're a one-man act. Well, I did that for 2 or 3 years, and then I found out that Sultan in Italy came out with this humongous $5,000. Well, I had to have it. So I went out and got that. Then this has got CDs that go inside it, you know. So now my dad and I, we do the whole gig together, just the two of us. He's passed away in '94, but bless his heart, I miss him. But music, I was playing since I was 6 years old, still in diapers almost. And I started out with accordion, then I went steel guitar, and then got on the TV show, started with a little snare drum, they added a hi-hat and a little cymbal, and pretty soon I was putting drums on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. Every instrument you see on the Grand Ole Opry, I put there.
You still play the accordion?
Yeah. And but the Pearl set of drums, I was involved with them years ago, and they made me an honorary colonel on the governor's staff of Tennessee because of my involvement with the musicians. And they all wanted to, so they went to the government and they gave me this big title, show it off to my phone. I got a group like this, and I brag about it. And then, you know, and what better environment? I mean, as a musician myself, when you get an invite from somebody like Roy Parsons says, "Come on out, let's go golfing." I can't afford it. I can't get what? It's all on me. It's first class. It's all taken care of. Well, then you say, when do I leave? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been golfing with Roy 3 times, and I took second place at the Roy Clark Open 1 year. I missed first place by 1 putt.
Oh.
And I was able to golf with the Seattle Seahawks, Steve Austin. He had the owner of all the Radisson hotels. And one guy didn't show, but I missed 1 putt that day. The gold putter, Roy was giving gold putter away. Those are fun times. The times that I get in an airplane and fly to Merle Travis and deliver the Super Eagle, you know, the Super 400 rather, to him with a circus script in there. And it's just, and B.B. King, I delivered B.B. King's Lucille to him. And these are wonderful moments. And I've traveled with Les Paul in Chicago, down to Chicago Rush Street. And those are, I should write a book, people say. But it's all of us guys, not just me, but everybody has had experiences that are just mind-blowing for somebody that dreams about it. You know, that's what we did for a living. The company said, well, go to Taiwan. So I went to Taiwan. I was ahead of the imports for the Epi division. The Epi guitar was below the Epiphone. And that was like your $50 and $200 guitars. But when you see the Taiwanese build guitars, they're billing them for 30 cents an hour, and at 10 hours. And then a truck pulls up with a big can of soup. They have their soup, they get in marching line, and then they go back and they build, and you'll see where they were born, where they work, and across the hill where they die. That's their whole life, you know. I like American-made products myself. Over there, when one time we had one. I'll kind of comment on that. But one day, one of our inspectors was over there, and he says, "This is no good, this quality on this guitar." The foreman went right over to the woman and knocked her out. Right there on the spot. Just whacked her once and laid her right out. That's in Taiwan. Well, we don't do that here. Our women are stronger than that. They fight back. They fight back, believe me. No, we got a little gal back there, Katie. Now, her husband worked at Gibson for as long as I did, and he's in a wheelchair right now. That's right. She's with us, and she's a great worker. She does all the sanding and the whitewood. And any questions so far? Okay, we'll keep.
Hi everybody, it's John Kuziak. My handle's Kuz, K-U-Z, on the Heritage Owners Club. This is my 2006 150 with the Lawler P90s. About 9.5 pounds, and I don't think I'm ever going to bring it again to this place because there's too many good players. I hope everybody can make it next year.
Where about you from?
Dayton, oh that's right, Dayton, Ohio.
Cool. Cool. Thanks, John.
Yep.
I like a guitar. I like a flat top myself. When I perform, I have a flat top because I do love singing and performing right around me. I like the sound around me. you know, like if I go out and do a tuxedo, strolling tables or something like that, I'll wear a tux. I'll have a John Smith or a Golden Eagle or something like that. You know, and if I'm playing country or something like that, I'll have a little solid wire or double spotted wire or something like that. What's nice about working at Heritage is you just check it out and play it, right? Bring it back next day. But okay, now this is called our Ferris wheel. You see all the glue in the seams? Oh, yeah. Okay. You see this glue squishing out? Well, that's what this does. It puts pressure. We glitch it around, it ratchets it around, and it's called the Ferris wheel. It holds a lot of wood in a small area. That's an old Gibsonite. And then once we get the top, then we get the genuine mahogany. We put it in this hand press here, and put the top on the glue on the mahogany, and press that block up. And then we cut it out, the basic shape. We send it through the time saver, for sanding on the thickness, and then we take it over to that carver over that we saw. And that carves out the basic shape, and we do everything else by hand.
What about one-piece backs versus two-piece backs?
Okay, one-piece back versus two-piece, three-piece, five-piece backs. I've seen them all. The ones that are most sought after are the one-piece. But back in the old days, Gibson, it got so, see the reason Gibson, well, when they were big, it was beautiful for them because they had, you know, your Super 400s, your L5, your, you know, all that stuff, Birdland, all the big creme de la creme that put their best wood in. Well, that leaves a lot of wood that, you know what I mean? So it trickles down into your lower models, and progressively gets down to your lower models, and your finishes change also to cover up some of the flaws as you go down in model. So we don't have a whole lot of different models. We do, but I mean, we have to use the best wood right out of the chute. And as you'll see in these little containers around here, we don't have a lot of scrap. A lot of this stuff, we know how to build a guitar for one thing, but we're utilizing almost every square inch that we can because it costs so much. No, here's a Gibson item here. It's very important that your guitar play in tune, right? I think it is. Okay, when the rosewood fingerboard shoots through there, all those grooves are put in at one time. Now that's got to be right to the thousands. If it's not, and it cuts the fingerboard nut off, or the fingerboard area where the nut is, if that's not on a 24 3/4, so on 1.375, if that's not exactly from center to the fret to the first leading edge of the nut, it's not going to play right. And so this thing has to be looked at every once in a while to make sure everything hasn't changed, the glue hasn't built up on the cutters, and it's clean. So when it makes the pass through, it's going to make an even cut. So when our fret guy puts the frets in, the tangs are going to hold. Now we've lived through some disastrous days back when we first started. Trying to do certain things by hand, and maybe get that tang a little bit too big, and the fret would pop out when we work on the plate machine. When we heat it up, the fret would pop up, and we'd have to glue it. Oh man! Now we've got it pretty much perfected. We've got a new machine I'll show you there in the front that actually pushes all the frets in at one time, off center, so the pressure is even. It all goes in the perfect. And then I on the other end will dress them along with the help of the plate machine. Right now, to let everybody know the plate machine is down, we're remodeling, we're upgrading and all that stuff. So it makes a little bit more of a workload on me, but I think I know what I'm doing. Just setting up pretty good. If you got any problems, let me know. I'll try to help. We just signed it. What's that? Yeah. And it won't be real long. We got some upgrades, we got some new software, new computer, and all that stuff coming in. I think I'm going to really, really enjoy the way it's going to be in the near future. What was I going to say? Yeah, when we first started with the Fleck machine, there was like six units that were in existence, and now they're everybody's got it. So I think just the sheer fact that we were using it, I think Gibson's got a 450. Dave Wetker Guitars was just bought out by Sweetwater. I don't know if anybody knew that.
I knew he moved.
Yeah. He's moved to Indiana
Fort Wayne, I think.
Fort Wayne, yeah. And he's moving down there with his plug guy, and they're going to start building the wicked guitars down there in Sweetwater. Has anybody been to Sweetwater? It's a $32 million place. Beautiful, you know, recording rooms and all the whole gamut, you know. But we're the old school. We're the old guys. We're the old thinking. We're the old way. We don't have anything, as you see, everything is. We've had people that are great musicians coming through here, and just the smell of the place turns them on. You know what I mean? It's just that wood in the air. It's mecca to them, you know. And how many have heard the name Marcel Dadi? Sure, Marcel Dadi, another Chet Atkins in France. He was with me that day, and his photographer. They got on the flight 800 and died. And then after sort of on the news, they found out that it was the air conditioners heating up, causing the fuel tanks to explode. What caused that problem? I'm a pilot, so I've been into that stuff. I belong to 3 pilot organizations. The Women's Pilots Organization gave me a free membership because I wrote them a song. And I had 4 or 5 other women pilots standing in line, you know, wanting me to write them a song for their little airplane. A friend of mine, she's about that high, amazing steerer. She teaches air racing to women pilots all over the U.S. She's got a Geronimo, twin-engine Geronimo. We just got back from Mackinac Island. I shot the whole thing in a CD movie for her from the back seat, and then I do all the computer stuff on that, put music to it and everything. And that's one thing about I think that will keep you, each one of you, young, is that you'll never find the right tone that's perfect for you. You're always looking, there's always improvement, there's new software, it's just never
Who's
ending.
got that recorded for my wife? Who's got that recorded?
Young forever. I think I feel young. I don't feel like a 66-year-old. I really don't. Because I'm playing, I want to play. Like this Wednesday, this Friday, I got a big church I'm going to play. Saturday we got a gig. Friday we got a gig. And I've got one of the best guitar players. I'm trying to get him to come tonight. Now, I've asked my brother to bring the PA. I've asked him to bring the drum set up. And I want to bring my bass, my old Clunker Heritage bass. I don't even have any finish on it, but it's just, I like it. And my little bass amp. And then, so we'll have a place for everybody to jam. If you feel like jamming and all. That's going to be fun. Woohoo!
All right.
I just heard a kid in here a while ago that played, and man, I couldn't believe it. And what was he playing on? An old Heritage 140. I looked down the neck, and the guy could play the fire out of that thing. I said, well, you can't play this that good, because look at the neck. It had a huge hollow and a turn up, and the neck was terrible. So, boom, I cranked it up for him, and oh yes, he lit up. But yet he could play that thing, regardless of what the neck looked like. You see what I'm saying? It's that professional level. And it's true, honest to goodness. I have talked to some real jerks for guitar players. There are some real jerks out there. But in general, most of them are fantastic because they're just trying to express their soul. And with music, and I've seen, because I've played so many people in a coma, in hospitals, people with no legs, no arms, you name it. I've played in all situations. Music is magical. It touches the soul, it touches the heart, and brings them out of coma. It'll get them singing. We had one person that was in comatose, almost gone. We were singing a hymn. She happened to know it. She started verbatim, and she's singing. Before they know it, she's singing. We had another preacher in a wheelchair, 80 pounds. He was so frail, 2 nurses watching. He came up right in front of my dad and started singing. He was a preacher. We didn't know that at first. He looked at my dad, and my dad was singing Old Rugged Cross. He started singing it. Pretty soon he was out of his wheelchair. Everybody was aghast. But music is powerful. It really is. And it's great for kids. Take time to share your music with kids. Anybody on your block that has any income for it, go down and buy them a $50 guitar. Get them, set it up good for them, and try to help them along the way. I've got a whole theory of way of teaching guitar that not too many people either agree on or whatever. But I believe there's 3 envelopes when you teach a guitar. There's first envelope, second envelope, third envelope. And in each one of those envelopes there's 3 chords. In the first envelope, your tonic, your root is on the first string. On your second, and you just play your 1, your 4, and your 5, 7. And then on the second envelope, your second string is your root. On the third envelope, your third string is the root. Once you learn those 3 envelopes and those 3 chords, you can play anything. And really, you got to learn the Nash. How many years have heard of the Nashville number system? Okay, that is very important. The first time I ever heard that, was down in Nashville. I was on the Grand Ole Opry, and the guys backstage, these guys that make over $100,000 a year playing guitar. A new singer comes on stage, they've never been introduced to them, don't even know the song. They open their mouth, they started singing, they're on a 4x6 card. 1, 4, 6 minor, 2, 4, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, whatever they're writing down. Everything is done, bam, just like that. The ringleader for the band, he passes out the card, they're recording like that, and nobody makes a mistake. It's incredible to watch. And that's off of the Nashville number system. I have played in Bye Bye Birdie back in the old days. I played down here at Miller Auditorium. I played in things like in showboats. I'll play the bass with the guitar, and they'll throw some great big monsters, Mills Brothers, sing at you with a million black chords in it, scare you to death. You start sweating just looking at the thing, you can't even see the words because it's got so many chord changes. Don't let it scare you. What you want to do is to look at the key of the song, of course, and then pick out your 1, your 4, and your 5. Then write your chart, and then all that other stuff is just coming and going between the 1, 4, and the 5. I had Larry Carlton one time, and I worked for him back in the old Gibson days. He had a T-shirt, 1, 4, 5 on it. He also had 3, 3, 5, for the 3, 3, 5 that he loved. But a lot of the musicians back then, 1, 4, 5, never knew what that meant until years later, And the guys in the Nashville number system. And then it wasn't even in books, wasn't even in college. College people, professors hated that because they didn't want it to be that simple. They want you to take it, you know what I mean? They want to get your money and get all that stuff and wait till you get old before you learn music. I say the older you get, you want to learn quick. You want to learn what music's all about. So when you hear something, the whole idea is to hear a song and be able to instantly write it. If you can do that, you'll be a whole happy picker.
You're gonna write a book.
Yeah, I know. What's the biggest thrill in my life? Of course, I've done pretty much all I want to do, but is to take a guitar and set it up for a guy that knows what he's doing. He's always thought he had a good guitar. When I get done with it, hand him a jewel. He just not. I've had so many musicians fall off their seat almost after I set one of them and tweak it. You know what I mean? With years and years of experience. Not saying I'm bragging, I guess, but it's the idea that you can do that after making guitars. Okay? And I'm saying, stick with it, keep experimenting, and come up with a new idea. I got a new guitar idea right now that I'm holding brakes on until I talk to the guys and make sure I get some money off of this. but I got a that every guitar player's going to want. I'm sitting. I hope I get it out before I die. But it's a good one, and it's cheap, and it's good, and it's something no one else invented, and it's needed, and hopefully you're all here about it.
You're not going to tell us now.
Yeah, no, I can't.
You brought up like Larry Carlton. And,
Yeah.
Probably,
a lot of the top musicians.
The guitar that he played, 68 or 69 or whatever. What is the average, or do you have any idea what Gibson pays to endorse you like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's very simple. Back in the old days, when we first started, we didn't have anybody. I said, well, what do you want? Well, we don't know. We got to have somebody help us out. Because they knew I knew people in Nashville. I said, what about Roy Clark? Well, forget it. You'll never get Roy Clark. I said, buy me a ticket. So they finally did. I went to Nashville. I had Roy Clark sitting in the Hee Hall. Sam Lavella, the producer, left. Roy and I was there, and because I was friends with him in the old days. I said, Roy, I said, we need somebody big to help us. We're a new fledgling company. I said, we need to have you help us out. Would you do that? Well, sure. And so I had a contract already. I grabbed the stagehand that was working on the lights in the studio, got him down there and signed it. That's all it was signature. And Roy is still with us today. He still plays our guitars. And he has been one of the best artists for us because he's a generally all over good ambassador for music. He just got back from Russia a few years ago as an ambassador to the United States in Russia. He asked me to go with him, and I couldn't do it. But he did ask my wife and I. He flew us down first class. We went to the hotel down there by the airport, and I met Bob Hope, Phil Harris, and Brenda Lee, and the Oak Ridge Boys, and I sat at his gold table with his wife, the original player for Buddy Holly, and the RCA president of the RCA Studios. So I had a wonderful, wonderful little entourage of people around me, and I was on Crook and Chase show. And Roy got up, and they played the song Russian Nights. I don't know if you ever know that song, Russian Nights. But he was playing our mandolins back then when we made mandolins, and he was about ready to launch into Russia. And he said, folks, I don't want to quote on anybody, but I'd like to thank Run the Wall and his lovely wife Sue for coming up. So I had a tux on, my wife had a beautiful new dress on. We stood up, and there was 1,000 people in that room, including people like that. Those are kind of moments that I'll cherish, cherish. because my wife looks the best she ever did too. I've got 7 grandkids, so and I've quit a long time ago because it costs a lot of money to raise kids. I'd rather put my money in guitars. But let's keep going on. And but as far as the endorsement, he asked the question. Gibson, back then, Roy Clark, we gave him a guitar. We didn't charge Roy Clark when we first started off. You know, and you do that when you're a new company. You have to bite the bullet and do those sort of things. Big names, because they're going to get you the public eye, attention on the guitar. That's what it takes. Now, I've learned, and I used to be an artist relation for years for Gibson, traveled all over the world, signed a lot of people. But I found that if I charge you some money for a guitar, you're going to like it a whole lot better and hang on to it. And if I just give you something, there's no value, you've thought, you know, nothing, just the fact that you got a name and you sign up, yeah, fine. But you're the type of person, if I do that they won't have it very long. Because somebody else is giving them something free, you know what I mean? But if I can get the artist to have a little investment in it, I'll have them longer. So nowadays, we don't give too many things away. We charge them. We give them a good deal, but at least we cover our costs on the guitar. And then that way we're not on, if they want to do what they want to do, whatever. But I've had some pretty big name artists. I get a call from somebody that said, hey, was this really played by, I don't know, Chet Atkins or whoever, you know, and it's signed by them, you know, and all that stuff. Then I know that it was. Well, one time I was in Chet Atkins' home. He picked me up at the airport. Funny, another story. We went over to his house and everything, and we changed pickups in his guitar. And downstairs in the bay, we were all day doing that and stuff. And it was when we first came out with the Gibson, the classic, the solid body that had the PA's bridge and that Christian pickup. And Willie brought 10 of those guitars to give away to all his buddies. 10 of those, that's a lot of money. Those people have it. And somebody like Chet, yeah, you're gonna sign contracts. I was involved with all that too back in those golden days. But to me, if there's too much money involved with an artist, forget them. There's too many other good guitar players out there. You know, go on to the next guitar. Even spend a little bit of money on a younger person that you feel like has the talent, you know, and nurse that along, because like Garth Brooks. When Garth Brooks first started, I got his whole bio. A friend of mine was a sweeper in a recording studio in Nashville. He wound up being the vice president of this whole thing, and he sent me an inside tip on Garth Brooks. So I got this big portfolio, and I said, hey, we need to look at Garth Brooks. He's an up-and-coming star. This is before he was anybody. So anyway, there's one that we let go. We didn't do anything. You know, he was a new, but if we'd have milked that along, we probably had him still. But some you win, some you lose. You know. Hi. What do those things go for? An hour? I don't have much time.
Anything is the name tag stuck to my chest. I'm Neil Slate, Rob Slater from Greensboro, North Carolina. And this has been really unutterably fabulous. The plant was excellent. Mentor of mine, dear departed friend, brought me into Heritage Guitars about 7 or 8 years ago. And it's just been a match made in heaven. I love them. This was the Super Eagle I custom ordered a while ago, and everybody knows about it, unfortunately. And it's finally here, and it's just as fabulous as it can be. And it's been great letting everybody here kind of pick it up and have a spank.
Gorgeous.
I've really been digging this whole afternoon. It's been lovely. There's a barn full of really swell guitars over there. And then meeting the boys has been the freaking note.
Rob, you're from where?
Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah, dead on 12-hour drive up here.
All in one day, right?
Yeah, dead on 12-hour drive driving back tomorrow too. Which is gonna blow for me, but hey, worth the price.
Rob, thank you.
Thank you.
Friday he was on cell phone. Friday tired, long week, talking to the kids, fan cut off. Cut his finger right off.
Oh.
It sucked up the vent. He come to me with a rag on his hand and said, maybe you should take me to the doctor. I'm looking at this red rag, and I said, yeah, I guess so. So anyway, they took him off. The surgeon called me, where's his finger? Well, luckily we turned everything off and the suction dropped it back down. We put it on ice and look at Jay's finger, you can't even tell it.
Huh.
They sewed that thing back on, it's a miracle. But that's one of the reasons I don't work back there. I just play them. I will not work back there. I have my fingers insured for a minute now. You guys. No, really, lately I've been playing bass. I like bass because there's not that much to haul around. I used to have big trucks and big speakers and big power units, and as I've gotten older, everything has shrunk. I'm down to 2 little miniature 50-watt portable battery-operated amps and a wireless mic, and that's it. You know, play on the beach anywhere I want to. But I'm not into that big equipment anymore. How many are computer? How many play music on computers and have fun with the computers? Yeah, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? You got Sonar, you got Band in the Box.
Pro Tools.
What is it?
Pro Tools.
Yeah, Pro Tools, yeah, that's great. There's so many things on the internet that are available for teaching guitar. And, just try to take advantage of them, you know. There's so many of them. And there's a lot of, some of them are making a lot of money on it.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of one guy here, and I'll think of it later, but you sign up, you pay like $35, $50 a year, and you can download all kinds of backup music, you know, and play along with it. Band in the Box is kind of cool, the latest version, because you can drop out the guitar and put yours in there and change all the various styles and everything. Is that you or me?
Not me.
Two messages. Well, we'll get them later. No, we just took my mother-in-law to the hospital yesterday because of a heat exhaustion. So she's 91, so I might be.
Oh.
Might take that a little bit. But
Hey, Brent, where do they put the maple caps on the 150s? And how
150.
thick?
That's it right there. That's it. That's the maple cap.
Maple caps
It's this thick. And
that
the mahogany is this thick. By the time they get it done and carved, of course, it's done.
Okay, so it's about a half inch?
Yeah.
That's maple cap?
Yeah. Okay, let's go on.
So my name is Terry, and my HOC is a Terry T64, and my guitar is an H127 custom antique sunburst finish. It's 1986, but I bought in 1986, so it's a first one-owner guitar. And today I got the privilege of visiting the birthplace of my favorite guitar, as well as getting engraved, signed by the makers. I don't know if you can catch the engraving.
Yeah, got it. Good.
And I'll put some white paint so it sticks out a bit, but the great thing is that now it's engraved into it. So that's my my baby. Why do I like heritage guitars? I really don't know how to explain this, except that that's the only guitar I've ever needed since I bought it. I've played it live with several bands, and I've never had the need to buy anything else, really.
Where are you from, Terry?
I am originally from France. I bought this guitar in France, actually.
Really?
Wow. I came to Canada in '88, and first trip to Kalamazoo was a lifelong dream, realized.
Cool.
But if you got any questions, be sure to answer them.
Well, I've got a lot, right? You know that. But there's some members that have asked questions that aren't here. The special, I mean, we know that you come out the 535-23, it's out.
Yeah.
But why not wait till your 25th anniversary? What's the
You know what? Because we just got through the fire.
It was a big
We just
deal.
got
That's what
through
we
coming
thought.
off of a 7-month all that troubles and problems. That's why we wanted to celebrate with the 23rd anniversary. I think that was it. It wasn't elaborate. It was just a 23.
No, but
some guys say, "Well, that looks like a stock car number to me on it. I don't want it." You know, I had one dealer say, "Well, they didn't realize the full story behind it," and they returned one guitar that I knew of it that way. But if they knew the story, I think they would have hung on to it because I think they're going to be valuable. We're only going to build 230 of them. 230.
Yeah.
It's just the number we picked. The old 150 limited editions, we're going to build 500 of those. So, if you can afford it, pick up on some of those because they're going to think of if you'd have picked up some of the old Gibsons back in the old days. Think what they'd be worth today. I had my chance to get all of us that worked at Gibson had a chance to pick up the old 58, 57 Les Paul, some of the $80,000 and $100,000 guitars today for $100, $50. Back then, you know, it's hindsight. You know, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And some of our guitars, I feel, is even going to be more valuable as time goes on. I really do, because of our story.
My dad had a Corvette back in the day, same truck.
Right. I had an MGA, an Austin Healey, and a Porsche. Every one of them is about triple the price from what I sold it for. Hey, John. I just spotted something.
Yeah, I'm Mark Hewitt. This is my Stat Deluxe. I'm from Kokomo, Indiana, and I can't remember the rest of the questions, but...
Well, tell me about your guitar.
Oh, my guitar, I have Antiquity Texas Hots in here that gets real good stat sound. I have a APH1 Seymour Duncan in the for the bridge pickup. I have a Shaler with fine tuners on it for the end, gives it more mass, gives it more sustain. I keep it all the way down to get more pressure on the bridge right here so I can get more sustain out of the thing. Here's the back of it. It's excellent guitar. I wish Heritage made more of them. You know, it's I'm told, I've heard one of 17, one of 5. You know, I've heard, you know.
Oh, that's rare.
Right, and it's a baby. That's it.
Very nice.
Okay.
Mark, thank you.
One fret at a time. But then somebody said, I think Jim got together and built this beautiful press. Hydraulic, which is all the frets in at one time.
Yep.
Anyway, the guy that we got working here, this guy's a genius. He is so into his frets. I've never seen anybody like him. He wants to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect or he goes nuts. I've never seen it. You know what, people get into the work, he almost overdoes it. That makes me nervous. But I bless his heart because I have to work with what he does, you know. So they're perfect. When he gets done with them, they're perfect. I don't know if I've ever told him that, but I should. You know, the guy does good work like that. But this is our press machine. Whose is that, me or you or somebody's flipping? I had to put a rubber band on it too.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I didn't hear the first part of the story, but is that guy been, the guy that's setting these up?
Yeah.
Has he been
Ray is a music
with the business since Gibson?
No,
days?
no, he's
So
maybe 8 years, 7, 8 years with us. But he's a musician, kind of a rock musician and stuff. He has these big goggles that he gets under these frets and they're blowing up real big, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Really, really, yeah. Just, you know, like a, you know, sure. You're a little nervous when you're around him because he's so into his frets to making sure they're perfect. That's really great. I mean, yeah, that's good, but you worry about a guy but they're good. I like it because they're good for me, and it makes my job a lot easier. Now, there's another thing. You never know where a piece of wood's going to go. I don't care how careful we are. Sometimes the neck will go whoop, and there's just when you get it all down at the end of the line, we have to check it. Put a new neck in or whatever we have to do. So not everything is perfect. You have to deal with that when you finish. How many they brought your guitars? How many brought your guitars with you? Oh, great. We're gonna have a good time. The idea of music is to have fun. I don't care how good you are. Just pick the guitar up and have fun with it. There's a camaraderie amongst each other. You know what I mean? Don't worry about how bad you are. Think of how much fun you have doing it. I'll tell you this real quick story, and to me it's very important. I try to tell a lot of young kids this. I played at a place over in Battle Creek, and I was warned before I went in there to play at this place. I had my friend on a 12-string flat top. That be prepared. You may not be prepared for this one because you've entertained a lot, but you've never entertained like this. When I went in there, I opened the door. It was an old abandoned schoolhouse, and what I saw was baskets hanging from the ceiling on springs. In the baskets were babies. When we started playing, the baskets started moving up and down. They had no arms, no legs. They were real live humans, but they were crack babies that they had to take care of. And when we were in there entertaining that, those baskets started jumping up and down, and when I looked in that basket, my life changed. So be happy with what you have. You've got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and ears, you know, get that guitar and enjoy it. The rest of your life, be as safe as you can, but enjoy the journey, you know. I have tremendously. I've enjoyed it so much. And when I see stuff like that, it makes you more aware of the gift that you've been given, you know. So enjoy that. So when I perform tonight and make a mistake, please forgive me. So please forgive me. Yeah, we'll have fun.
Well, I think it's where
few years back, and I think you said that so many guitars were made out in the Gibson years that actually the quality of control you believe is a lot better now than because you had 60 guitars going out a day versus 4 or 5.
There were times in the Gibson days where and I've seen people fired over this stove. When my old boss got fired over it, but there was an 8 rack of like 200 guitars in it. I mean a big 40 rack, not 200, but a 40 rack, and they were bad quality. And he said, cut them out. Well, he got fired over it. And so there's been times where, to me, you can overreact. Wood is wood. And I'm a player more than I am an artist as far as looking at it and saying, well, that's got a little speck of wood on it. I don't like that. I'm not going to pay $2,000 for that, or whatever. I'm not that way. I'm just the opposite. If that sucker plays good and sounds good, I don't care. I'm going to put a scratch on it the first night. You know what I mean? And the main thing is that you keep your fingerboard oil, your strings greased down real nice and smooth and fast. Before you put your set of strings on, put it in a basket or something and spray WD-40. Let it just drip off of it. And then take your rag and wipe all the excess. Look at all the dirt and the crap coming off of those strings. Put that on your guitar, it'll last you 3 times as long, and they'll be just almost like flat ones. Okay, just as simple. I had one of the professionals, the guys that played all his life, WD-40. Well, that's water displacement, the 40th, the formula for that. That's what that is. And they use it on the big missiles to keep parts from rusting and stuff. Well, use it on your strings for crying out loud. It's cheap. The nut sauce that they have for your little, that's good for the nut and the grooves. Use that up there. Make sure that your nuts are tight on the machine head post. A lot of time, all the stuff comes in here. The washers are rattling because the nuts aren't down tight, and you wonder why it's not staying in tune. On a solid body, on a tune-o-matic and a stop bar, take a block of wood and bang it like this. As odd as that sounds, don't damage the top, put a little drag on there. And then go bam, bam on the bridge, and bam, bam on this side to try to get your strings to compress more. This way. Pull your strings after a fresh set, and then tune everything up right. Tweak it with a strobe if you can. I do everything by ear most of the time. I used to have a $5,000 Peterson to throw away. One of these little $30 little strobe things is fine. That's all you need. But temper tune your guitar. Don't expect it to play absolutely perfect. They did it for the best guitars in the world. Back in the old days, they had 8 and 10 actions, classical actions, but they could play the fire out of them. Spend more time practicing than complaining about your guitar. You know what I'm saying? We put a 3 and 5 action on your guitar. That's low. Most professionals like a 3 and 4. Some of the professionals that I set them up for are 2 and 3. When you get down to that level with a 1046 set of strings, you better have every fret. There better not be a piece of dust on it, And really, the best fingerboard is one that's compound radius, not one that's perfect 12 all the way across. It starts out 12 here and progressively gets flatter here because you do your side slips. Most of the stuff is done up in here, not down in here, but up in here, right? So when it is, you want to get away from the curve because as you go into it, you're going to splat out. So if you've got any problems with your guitar, let me know. I'm glad to try to improve those things.
I can't play it as well as I'd like.
I'm still learning. I'll show you some of the licks I've learned. Every musician, Wes Montgomery, I'm pretty sure you've heard of that name years ago. When I worked on his personal guitar for him years ago, and Chet and Les and all these people, Merle, always before I leave them, I said, would you teach me a lick before I leave you that I can remember you by? Oh, they think that's great because not too many people ask that. And we'll take them maybe 5-10 minutes, And one time a guy taught me, I paid him $5 to teach me Yankee Doodle Dixie. You play 2 songs at the same time.
Yeah.
That drove me nuts, but I paid him $5. So I hated to pay him $5. He could play it and I couldn't, so And now today I don't practice and I can't even play it. I started out, I can't finish it. Music is so much fun, and we're going to have some of it a little later. Let's get going here.
I'm Katie. I work at Heritage. This is my personal instrument. This is my baby. I walked her through the line. We did, there used to be another Finnish guy there besides Patrick, and before he left, I begged him to do this for me. Everybody in the shop picked on me, said this was going to be the ugliest thing in the world. And you either like it or you don't, but it's definitely my guitar.
That's probably do. Oh, it's gorgeous.
It suits me. I'm pretty colorful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This one here
I'm definitely in the love it camp on that one.
is the first one I bought, and this one's got sentimental value to me because my dad actually helped build this one. This one was built in 1989. My dad was a veteran Gibson employee, and he built this one in '89 before he had a real bad stroke in 2000 and was no longer to work for Heritage any longer. So. But it's in our blood. Once them wood chips get in there, you know, you can't shake them out. They stick to everything.
The sawdust goes to the DNA, is that what they?
For real. Yep, I've been helping my dad ever since I was a little girl. Not, you know, doing something at home, doing pick guards or what, if not for Gibson, for Heritage.
Oh,
so
cool.
I've been doing it all my life.
Cool.
Just legally for the last 3 years.
Well, Katie, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And your running mate over here?
Tied her husband, yeah.
What do you think of Katie's guitar habit?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's
Tell him the real secret. I get to build him, he gets to play.
And you really got to be awake. You can't fall asleep because this sucker will cut your finger off. This thing is flying around here at high speed. As you put the body in here, you're actually going back with your lefty. You're holding this and going back and forth. And you're pressing down on this into the groove, you know, where that's over there making that, you know, that curve. And that's how they do that. That's how they do that. And then from there, we take it over to Katie. She'll be at the party tonight with her husband. And Katie does all the, let's go over here and take a look at this. This is what she does over there, this kind of work. It's called a whitewood sanding. Here's Cynthia Music, Super Eagle. Look at that baby. Take a look. You can hang on to it. Look at it. That's what you call whitewood. It's 25.5-inch scale. Maple, marble binding. It doesn't say. No, it's just a regular pickups in there. He didn't say. When I was with Kenny Rogers backstage, that's where the 4-point adjustment came about. The pickup was actually lifted off, and that's where that came in.
Randall?
Yeah. Yeah, you bet.
Hi, my name's Ron Warren. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. My Heritage Owners Club handle is High Flying Bird because I love to do a lot of raptor photography, like the eagles, hawks, and falcons in the area.
Cool.
And I guess you could call me a bird brain. I've been called worse. I started playing guitar when I was a kid on an old Silvertone that my uncle had left for my father to keep while he was out of town. And eventually I ended up with a non-reverse Firebird, 3 P90s, and let a guy at a music store talk me out of it. I went through a lot of guitars, and in 1989 or 90, R.D. Walker from Instruments Unlimited had picked up the Heritage line, told me the story. I was hooked. Within a year, I had a 150, probably weighed 11 pounds. And I currently own this 535 with the Bigsby, 535 Antique Sunburst, and 2 Heritage Acoustics, 445, and my recent acquisition was a Heritage HFT 475, which is the acoustic version of the 575 Jazz Box.
Cool.
It's got the cutaway and everything, and it's I think it's some kind of a reddish sunburst. But I've been trying to play guitar on and off for about 30 years now. Out of that time, easily 15 or 16 of those years, the guitars sat in their cases and I didn't even pick them up. About a year and a half ago, I was over at some friends and they were playing, and I said, you know, I think I'm going to try to play tonight. And since then, I've been trying to get my hands back in shape and get my ears in shape. And I've decided I'm going to learn how to play guitar as good as I can play it. And hopefully within a year's time, I'll be able to satisfy myself in that regard. It's been an honor to be invited up here to the Henderson compound and the factory tour on Parsons Street today. It's something that I've been wanting to do ever since I first heard the story of Heritage before I ever put my hands on one. It's an honor to be here with such decent people. Flying up from way down in the deep south is not the kind of thing I normally would do, but when I found out I had this opportunity, it'd be hell or high water keeping me away from Kalamazoo. I'd like to thank everybody for their hospitality and putting up with my foul sense of humor and sweaty head. Thank you.
Ron, thank you.
A postcard inside and with an address on it. If you wanted to order anything, anybody that's a Heritage Club owner would get an additional 20% off of the prices in this. And you'd have to put this inside an envelope with money or a check. We don't use credit cards. Everything's old-fashioned here.
Could you guys be a little more uncomfortable, please?
All right. As good as it gets, I think.
You must be the guy that got the dream job.
I am. They call me lucky around here.
Wait for Ren, you think?
Yeah.
Is Ren still coming, or who's all still?
He's talking. Hey,
So-
Ren.
what a surprise.
Imagine Rendell talking.
Did y'all
Talking at
notice
midnight, too.
Did you
Yeah.
notice he likes to talk?
Yeah, he talks a little.
There he is.
Come on, Randall. Okay, here we go. We'll do this? No.
Yeah.
If you wish.
Yeah. Tomorrow you won't be here. Tomorrow you won't be here.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Okay. For those I haven't met, my name is John. Indirectly, I guess I'm responsible for all of these people being here in front of your building. I started the Heritage Owners Club. This event was organized by Brent, who you all know, and Jim. And on behalf of the Heritage Owners Club, we'd like to present you with a certificate of appreciation for building the guitars that we like to play.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Woohoo!
All right.
We appreciate it too. Without all of you people, we wouldn't have to build guitars. So
Let's hold this.
we really appreciate your support.
Yes, we do.
We want to make guitars that you're proud to own.
You guys keep building them, we'll keep buying them.
Okay, unfortunately.
Why don't you give me your name and how you're associated with Heritage?
Yep, Curly Holiday. Craig Spink actually is the real name, but Curly is the name, and I do the binding, most of the binding work down there at Heritage, and rough out the necks, do side pieces for the peg heads, or just whatever needs to be done as far as pressing veneers and that kind of thing. But this is a kind of a copy of an L5, which would be their like a Sweet 16 non-cutaway, which is an arch top.
Ah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
got the spruce top and mahogany sides and mahogany. This is a one-piece back.
Oh, gorgeous.
To it. And then I kind of did a few different things with it. Did the underlay here in black and white, and then I decided to do that also with the F-holes. Do the offset there.
Yeah.
And then that kind of matches this. Ray now did the fingerboard on that, and then I just put in diamond snowflakes, which we don't have on any other model, and then this abalone here is also something that we haven't done before.
Wow, that is really nice. And then the abalone inlay next to the and the binding is just something. It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and I really like the quilted maple. I had seen that in some of the catalogs with some of the older, some of the mandolins that they made, that Heritage made.
Very cool.
They had some really nice curly maple. Well, this one's quilted, but I just thought that was kind of a neat look.
Wow.
To it.
Very, very nice.
And I wish I hadn't have popped that string.
Yeah,
Had some
yeah.
spares, but.
So tell me, you play in a band as well, right?
Yeah, Great
Brooklyn?
Lakes Grass, play bluegrass. It was my first Heritage, an electric model, a Blues Deluxe, Prospect Blues Deluxe is what they call this one.
Oh, okay.
A double cutaway. It's a little narrower waist and smaller body, and it's comparable to a 535 or
That's the
555, but it's just a smaller, narrower, size.
Sure, yeah,
relationship with it.
That's the bookend to Brent's 555.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Brent told me about the Taiwan story in this guitar.
Yeah, you look good with it. That's a pretty guitar.
Gorgeous.
Congratulations.
All right.
Enjoy.
I will. You got any? I will enjoy this.
Next up.
That's it, not a solo, man.
Now play it.
Yeah, play it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Cut it loose, it'll be real exciting.
Here's one, a new verse. I'll make it up. You ready? Oh, sometimes Irene, she wears pajamas. Sometimes she wearing nothing at all. But when they're both,
Be careful what you're creating there, Brent.
Irene is the talk of the town.
Oh, thanks. His little stage right there. Back up. There you go. All right, that's it. Okay.
name is Randy Weidman. I'm FXDX99 on the HOC. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'd like to thank Brent and all the owners of Heritage, John, also known as Dixie Cup, and Jim W. for hosting this event this year. Outstanding tour, it was a great time. I came from Minneapolis with this guitar, which is a beautiful 535 in Sunset Burst. It's really nice. But I'm going home not only with this guitar, but with this guitar, which I was somehow lucky enough to win at the first annual HOC Inaugural Tour. Heritage owners were kind enough to donate this to the HOC to do in a raffle, and somehow my name got called, which is unbelievable. The truss rod cover has HOC on it for all the club members. So very cool there. It's an absolute gorgeous top with a gorgeous finish. Wonderful flame and wood grain on the back. The binding is a beautiful white. I mean, it's just absolutely a gorgeous guitar. Cannot believe that I was lucky enough to win this. I'm actually still quite amazed. It's unbelievable. So thank you to the Hendersons for hosting this, for all the event coordinators and the HOC, and especially the Heritage. Renwald did a great job on the tour. Wonderful stories. Hope we do this every year. Thank you.
That's for the people who like to go down slow.
Well, the inaugural pilgrimage to the Heritage Factory is now over. It was a tremendous success. You can't visit the heritage site and come away unimpressed by seeing the tooling and the sights, the sounds, the smells, especially the people that craft these fine instruments. Will we do this again? Well, as a very wise, very talented, very young man once told me,
The only guy I'm ever
See you next year.
Thanks, Brent.
All right, thanks.